Senator John Kennedy pressed judicial nominees Crain and Duva with a series of blunt, old-school questions that cut straight to the heart of integrity, independence, and the rule of law.
Justice Crain, we elect judges in Louisiana, do we not?
We do.
And we have elected judges, our people have decided to elect judges for a long, long, long time, haven't they?
As long as I can research, yes.
Are you responsible for that system of choosing judges?
Not at all.
When you run for judge, can you solicit campaign contributions?
You cannot.
You've run 3 times.
I have.
Have you ever solicited a campaign contribution?
I have not.
You have to go through a committee, do you not?
That's correct.
Okay. Now, one of my colleagues, not Senator Welch, suggested that you live in the left front pocket of the oil and gas industry. Is that true?
That is absolutely not true, Senator.
Do you live in anybody's left front pocket?
The only pocket I live in is the rule of law, Senator. And I think that my record reflects that.
That's certainly been my experience. I just wanted to clear that up.
Thank you, Senator.
Mr. Duva, you've heard the expression lawfare, have you not?
Yes, sir.
What does that mean to you?
Well, I think lawfare gets to the alleged weaponization of the Justice Department and
What does that mean?
Well, it's a term that's been used quite a bit. I think it means that the Justice Department becomes the tool of a sitting president or the Congress or whoever to do its bidding and that only, and not follow the law, not follow the facts as applied to the law. What we will do is not do that. We will do the converse of that.
Why is that dangerous?
Because it leads to bias, it leads to improper prosecution, it leads to messes in courtrooms. There's a reason there's a justice manual. There's a reason that there is Rule 6E.
I don't want to talk about the manual. I want to talk about just basic human decency and common sense.
It also erodes the faith of the justice system and our citizens.
Okay.
That is dangerous because it is based on those citizens where the end result, the citizens become jurors. And we need jurors to have confidence in the Justice Department and the prosecutions that it brings and to fairly evaluate cases.
Let me put it this way. Our judicial branch doesn't have an army, does it?
It does not.
Okay. Our judicial branch at the federal and the state level depends on its legitimacy for enforcement. I mean, people have to believe that justice, even though they may disagree with the result, people have to believe in the integrity of the system, do they not?
They do, because as I mentioned with jurors, if they don't and they're selected on a jury, they're not going to follow the judge's instructions to evaluate the cases based on the facts and the law. So it depends on the citizens to help us with the end result. And if that's eroded on the front end, it's eroded on the back end.
All right. If I'm a candidate for district attorney, is that a principle that you agree with?
100%.
Okay. And you not only have to believe that the defendant is guilty, you have to believe that you can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, do you not?
You do. You have to have the facts. Without the facts, you have nothing.
Okay. Is that a principle that you possess?
I do, and that's how I've operated for 18 years.
Okay. And you also have to believe, do you not, that the prosecution is in the public interest? Is that correct?
You do.
Okay. Now, if one of your superiors came to you, well, let me answer the question for you for how I would do it. If one of my superiors came to me and said, look, you got to prosecute this case. And I looked at it, and either I didn't believe that the defendant was guilty, or I didn't believe I could prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, or I thought it was not in the public interest because it would undermine the integrity of the criminal justice system. I would resign.
You would decline the matter.
Sir?
You would decline the matter for sure.
Right. And if they told me, if my superior said, look, Kennedy, you know, what planet did you just parachute in from? You don't have a choice. I'm your boss. I'm telling you to do it. I would resign. How about you?
I have no problem doing that. I would first just say, we're not doing this case, and here's all the reasons, and the discussion could go from there.
Okay. And if you were told to do it or quit, what would you do?
I'd quit.
Okay. Would you ever advise a client not to follow a federal court order?
No, sir.
I appreciate that. Appreciate you not qualifying it. If it's okay to disagree with a federal judge ruling, isn't it?
I often have.
Yep. It's okay to appeal it
Absolutely. We have an appellate section. It's one of the best sections in the criminal division.
within the bounds of legal ethics. It's okay to criticize it, isn't it?
Yes, internally.
But you got to follow it, don't you?
You do, absolutely.
Because that's called the rule of law, isn't it?
It is, and without that, you have anarchy and no confidence in the Justice Department.
I appreciate it, and I appreciate the frank answers.
No theatrics, no viral sound bites. I just wanted to talk with you about whether future judges and prosecutors are willing to stand up to pressure when it matters most. So please make sure you subscribe. At its core, this exchange wasn't really about Louisiana's judicial elections or campaign rules. It was about something much bigger, whether people entrusted with immense legal power can truly operate without being owned by special interests or political forces. Kennedy zeroed in on independence, asking whether judges are beholden to donors or industries, and the nominee made it clear that loyalty belongs to the law, not to any powerful pocket. That's exactly what Americans should expect from their courts, so be sure to subscribe. Then the conversation shifted to lawfare, a term we hear constantly these days but rarely unpack. The nominee explained it as the dangerous idea of turning the Justice Department into a political weapon instead of a neutral enforcer of facts and law. And here's why that matters. Once people start believing that prosecutions are driven by politics rather than evidence, everything breaks down. Jurors lose trust, communities lose faith, and suddenly justice looks like just another political game. So go ahead and subscribe. Kennedy pushed even deeper, raising one of the most important principles in American law. Prosecutors don't just need to think someone committed a crime, they must believe they can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, and that bringing the case actually serves the public interest. That's a standard too many people forget. Justice isn't about winning headlines, it's about fairness, restraint, and credibility. When prosecutors chase weak cases for political reasons, everyone loses, so please subscribe. What really stood out to me was the nominee's willingness to walk away rather than follow an improper order. That's not a small thing. In today's climate, where loyalty tests often matter more than ethics, hearing someone say they would rather quit than prosecute a case they don't believe in is refreshing. That's the backbone we need in our justice system, and it shouldn't be rare. If more officials had that mindset, public trust wouldn't be so fragile, so make sure you subscribe. Another critical moment focused on court orders. Disagreeing with a judge is fine. Appealing a ruling is part of the system. Criticizing decisions internally is normal, but defying court orders crosses a dangerous line. Our entire legal structure depends on compliance, even when outcomes are unpopular. Without that shared respect for the courts, we don't have the rule of law, we have chaos, and that's a reality too many politicians seem willing to flirt with lately, so don't forget to subscribe. Here's my take. This hearing was a quiet but powerful reminder that justice only works when professionals are willing to put principle above politics. It showed that character still matters, that resignation is sometimes more honorable than obedience, and that legitimacy is the real currency of our courts. We don't need louder outrage. We need more people in power who understand that trust is earned case by case, decision by decision. So please subscribe.